Hey guys, and welcome back to A Fan's Eye View. I'm Justin. Today we have a super serious discussion to have. Is Rudy Gobert a Hall of Famer? Now, I originally saw this question posed on Twitter by NBA World, but after doing some further discussion, I found out that Jazz fans have been on this train or bandwagon for quite a while now. So, the question remains, is Rudy Gobert already a Hall of Famer? And if not, does he have the chance to be by the time his career is all said and done? Before we get started, if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and drop a like, it helps us out a ton. Now, let's take an in-depth look, and then we can decide for ourselves.
And we have a breaking news alert here, a trade in the NBA. The Utah Jazz are sending Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
With the 27th pick in the 2013 NBA Draft, the Denver Nuggets select Rudy Gobert.
Me and my bros, yeah, we run this fucking town, yeah. Give me a month, we gon' make a couple thou, yeah. To see my idols, yeah, I'm looking at them down, yeah. Looking at them down, yeah. Everybody looking at me like I am the man. Ain't nothing new to me, like looking at the back of my hand. Flying out the window, you can call me Peter Pan. We taking off to Neverland.
And the 2018 NBA Defensive Player of the Year award goes to
Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz.
That shit to Malcolm, damn, I'm done being the middleman. Now everyone is looking at your little boy mouth. They talking big, but so whipping in Toyotas. I'm playing like the king, you buy like D-Rose. That shot was nice, man, but watch out for your knees, bro.
Look at my wrist, you can't even see my skin tone. Shit's shining like a Technicolor
The
dream
Kia
coat.
NBA Defensive Player of the Year is
You old as shit. Oh, you a Flintstone.
Rudy Gobert.
Bros, yeah, we run this fucking town, yeah. Give me a month, we gon' make a couple thou, yeah. To see my idols, yeah, I'm looking at them down, yeah. Looking at them down, yeah. Everybody looking at me like I am the man. Ain't nothing new to me, like looking at the back of my hand. Flying out the window, you can call me Peter Pan. We taking off to Neverland.
that Rudy just won his third Defensive Player of the Year trophy.
Initially, when you view Gobert's stats, you might question his Hall of Fame legitimacy, as he has career averages of just 12.5 points and 11.6 rebounds. But he also throws in an impressive 2.1 blocks per game. However, Gobert's Hall of Fame case isn't built off stats alone. Instead, we focus on his accolades. Gobert is tied with NBA great Dwight Howard for second all-time with 3 Defensive Players of the Year, with only 2 players, Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace, having more. So, the question was raised, is his 3 Defensive Players of the Year, tied for second all-time, and other accolades already enough to make him a Hall of Fame lock? Well, as we said before, some people will disagree considering his low stats. However, his low point per game totals wouldn't even be the lowest, or even close for that matter, in the Hall of Fame. In fact, there are 24 players in the Hall that average less than Gobert currently, which makes up quite a bit of the Hall of Fame. Now, obviously, there are players whose points per game trail off towards the end of the career, so it is possible Gobert's points, rebounds, and blocks all trail off towards the end. But points obviously don't make or break the Hall of Fame career, especially for someone like Gobert. And given he will probably finish top 50 in blocks and top 100 in rebounds, that will put him in some elite company. And most of that company has also been inducted into the Hall of Fame. As alluded to earlier, very few players have won Defensive Player of the Year 3 or more times, and 2 of them, Mutombo and Ben Wallace, are already in the Hall of Fame, and Dwight Howard will undoubtedly make it when he retires. So, if all those players made it, why wouldn't Gobert? Could it be the stats? Let's take a quick peek. Dikembe Mutombo is a player whose averages are definitely hurt by his long career, as he played 19 seasons and well into his 40s, but in the end he averaged just 9 points per game and 10 rebounds, while shooting barely above 50% from the field. But he still managed to average over 2 blocks per game despite, as I said, playing well into his 40s. But like Gobert, Mutombo was never really an offensive weapon, as he only averaged more than 13 points per game once in his entire career, and that was his rookie season. He relied mostly on his defensive presence, which, as we said, notched him many impressive awards. As mentioned, he was 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, tied for most ever, but he was also selected to the All-Star Game 8 different times, and 6 All-Defensive teams. But only 3 of those were first teams. Remember that stat for later. Now, with Mutombo being one, if not the greatest shot blocker of all time, his Hall of Fame status isn't really questionable. However, Ben Wallace's raises a few eyebrows. Now, to cover my own ass here, I do believe Ben Wallace should be in the Hall of Fame. However, he became enshrined, and after that, it certainly felt like the door for someone like Gobert was open. Wallace got into the Hall of Fame with averages of just 5.7 points and 9 rebounds, while shooting below 50% from the field, which, to put it lightly, is not good. Now, Wallace is definitely one of the best defensive players of all time, matching Mutombo, like as we said, 4 Defensive Players of the Year, and finished his career in the top 20 in total blocks. But unlike Mutombo, Wallace was actually bad on offense. As mentioned earlier, he only shot 47% during his career, which Gobert has beat by 18 percentage points. So, how did Wallace, who is so bad offensively, make the Hall of Fame? Was it solely on his defense? Well, for Gobert's sake, I'm sure he'd like to think that it was only the defense, but ultimately it comes down to one thing. Ben Wallace won an NBA championship, and whether this matters or not, he has a feel-good story. Being an undrafted free agent gives him that edge, that, hey, he might have averaged only 6 points a game, but he was undrafted and won an NBA championship and Defensive Player of the Year. Now, since we've already established that points per game and rebounds don't necessarily matter in this Hall of Fame case, how does Rudy's award stack up to the other 2 NBA legends we've already discussed? Now, Rudy may lack the NBA championship that Ben Wallace has, and he's not ranking as high in the categories like Mutombo, since Mutombo is second all-time in blocks, but he is no scrub himself, so let's take a look at some of Gobert's accomplishments. Now, Gobert is second all-time in Defensive Player of the Year. We know this, we've said this a few different times. That's what initially sparked this whole debate. However, that's not the only award he has. He also has 6 all-defensive first teams, which stands as the most ever by a center, improving his case as one of the greatest defensive centers ever. Remember, Mutombo only had 3 first-team all-defenses. Now, where Gobert ironically has the edge on these 2 Hall of Famers is the offensive side of the ball, as he averages 12.5 points per game, but that's not the best part. The part is that he shoots 66% from the field, which ranks not 1, but 2nd all time. Out of everyone that's ever played basketball, Gobert has the 2nd highest field goal percentage. So he blows those 2 out of the water in efficiency. Now, it's important to remember this is the Basketball Hall of Fame. It is not the NBA Hall of Fame. So, it is not solely based off their NBA careers, and Rudy Gobert obtained a silver medal for France, which was huge for the country at the time, and he will continue to play for them in further Olympics, possibly furthering his medals. Now, just to rattle off a few more of Gobert's accomplishments, he has 4 All-NBA selections, and he's been an All-Star 3 different times, and those could both increase before he retires. Now, unfortunately, Gobert's career will forever have a shadow over it due to the huge haul the Timberwolves had to give up for him. But a trade, no matter how bad it may seem, shouldn't impact a player's Hall of Fame chances, especially if they continue to play well afterwards. And being he is one of the most awarded defensive players of all time, to me, it seems like, yes, Gobert does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Now, does he make it in off his current status alone? That I'm not so sure. But given, like I said earlier, by the time his career is over, he'll be one of the top 50 shot blockers and top 100 rebounders of all time, along with his many accolades. At that point, yes, I do believe Rudy Gobert will be in the Hall of Fame. Probably, and maybe not a first ballot, but he will make it in. So, just to go over everything one more time of Rudy Gobert's Hall of Fame case, he averages 12.5 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, 2 blocks. He's been Defensive Player of the Year 3 different times. That's 2nd all-time as well. He's got 6 all-defense first teams. That's the most by any center ever. Well, there you guys have it. Like I said, I do think Rudy Gobert will be in the Hall of Fame when he retires, but I guess we'll have to wait a while and see. If you guys agree or disagree, feel free to comment it down below, as either way, it helps us out a ton, and I appreciate you guys a lot. But I'm Justin, and this has been a Fan's Eye View. Until next time, stay frosty.